struggling with getting clients for a construction business? In this video, I will show you 20 proven ways to get construction projects as a construction company owner, which have allowed me to sign over 150 high-end projects across London and the UK with individual deal values exceeding 2.5 million for my construction company, Craftex. So let's jump straight into the training.
So we're gonna start today with a quick training, how to get more clients and 20 plus ways to get construction leads, especially for the guys who just like you, who started or who had a business but not long time and this small business. Because to get a projects, you need to understand exactly what size of the projects you can go after, depending on your skill, depending on the size of the company, and depending on your current situation. So we're gonna run through the training and then everyone can ask questions in the end. We're gonna cover most of them, and depending on your speed and growth, I suggest you using it one by one. So the first one, what I cover in our modules, it's the best way actually to get more projects and more revenue is just by turning your company into being a general contractor. So for example, like you guys, most of you doing trades or some specialized packages. And by just, for example, adding 10 packages to what you do and just actually speak to the same clients and the same contacts, you can get 10x of your revenue and 10x jobs. For example, Ian doing carpentry. So by subcontracting any package, you can get all of the packages possible. Okay, the same for everyone. Julian as well, whatever. You need to, guys, take everything you can. And whatever, if you, let's say, work with someone and you was doing just decoration, then you can say that you can do everything and then just find people directly, apply your main contract overhead, and let's go with it. Okay, so the first step, you need to turn your company to the general contractor. This is what I did. And as soon as I did it, I could grow my company to unlimited level. And with year to year, you can actually get any size of the deal by growing your experience. So we started from the smaller jobs and then we end up having 1.3 million office fit out within 2 months after I changed my direction. So this is how fast it can go. So already told you that the easiest step, call all of your contacts, but not just saying that I'm doing just carpentry, for example. I'm doing everything. Okay. And when you call in people, tell them about the referrals you pay if they bring you something. So for example, like you, Kamil, said that even your wife would bring you some deals, right? So you don't need to underestimate anyone you have in your telephone. Even can be some friends and even other builders. This is the easiest stuff, which is works. Then of course, call your previous clients and establish again relationship with them, ask how they do. And then even if you was doing, let's say, some small jobs or some subcontracts, update them about news in your company that now you can do anything, maintenance, whatever it is, electrical work, plumbing, main contractor packages, whatever it is. So the one I told you on the previous mastermind that you can Google construction sites, bigger construction sites, and as well, wherever you drive somewhere or wherever you go, always jump inside a live construction site. Why is that? Because live construction site, this is where you already have the deal happening right now and the people are already spending money and paying to some people. So I don't know any construction site which doesn't have problems. So every construction site has always problems with the subcontractors, with the quality of work, with the workers, with the supply chain. So whatever, when you're gonna be just calling people cold or sending emails, it's not gonna work as effective as you're just gonna come inside the construction site, introduce yourself to the project manager, then ask for the contact number of the company owner or whatever, or estimator or QS inside their business. And then you're gonna be calling them, but it's not going to be cold call already because you know someone from their company. And as well, you're going to need to ask the information about the project, what's going on and where is the problem. Or maybe if you can see the problems already, let's say if it's a bad decoration or bad carpentry work or bad tiles or whatever it is, you can propose that you can do it better, and you can ask even how much they paying right now and how much they spend for the current package to pay to the current subcontractor to do this shit work. And then you can ask if you can help them on the existing project or maybe participate participate in the tenders for the next project or maybe for something they have right now. And that's what old school guys still doing, walking into the project. And as well, one of our guys, Oleg, he did this in central London. Of course, if you're gonna go to central London, there is like construction project like every next 10 meters. So actually, even on some of them you cannot get because of the strict security rules, but on most of them you can get and just speak to people inside and introduce yourself, introduce your company, but not just ask and beg for the project. You need to be a bit smart and understand what they need. So basically, every construction company want to have better quality, faster delivery, and cheaper. It's very simple. And of course, they want to have reliable workforce. So whatever, of course, you're not coming and saying, give me 5 million project, please. You can ask for something small, even to send a few guys on the day rate, just to put your foot inside the door and introduce yourself and show them that you have actually quality workforce. Like, for example, Oleg, he visited probably 15 construction sites within 2 hours, and he got one potential project opportunity straight away, just invest in 2 hours. So then the next one is developers, existing developers, who can be your client. Developers who are usually for guys who are just starting. You're not gonna go to the big developers who are building big projects. You can go to someone who is buying flats, for example, and flipping them and renovating them. Or for example, they buying houses and doing extensions, or they buying, for example, small commercial buildings and they doing the flats, or they converting them to some different, so we need to understand their interest. So what they need, most of them look for a help in terms of understanding the construction cost, understanding the numbers before they buy the project. You can give them let's say, to put yourself and establish the connection, you can provide them with a free estimate or free work, so they can start considering you, and then you can tender. So you can find these guys like on the physical events, and as well you can even Google, find the small development companies and see what exactly they do right now. You can see the portfolio, for example, but never send the email. Okay, this is the one thing we do not do. We do not send cold emails, because the cold emails doesn't work. So whatever you, at minimum, what you expected to do is just call directly and ask what they do and if they need some help right now. So call on their business number, ask for director, ask for estimator, ask for someone who is making decision in the company. Okay, and you can introduce yourself. So the one which is we have in the module for now, at the moment of recording this, at 15 December 2025, Bark still works. This is the only platform which works for the small jobs. So my builder is shit, Checkatrade is shit, Get My Quote, whatever stuff it is, it's bullshit as well. Why Bark still works? If you do it correctly, if you have at least a good website and you're gonna follow my module, how you talk to people, how you sell your services, and how you present your estimates, and how you actually choose the relevant projects on Bark, which are real, which not fake, where someone just want the free estimate, and they not even going to do the project. If you're gonna follow all the steps, you can get stuff here from 10K to probably 50 or sometimes even 100K. And till today, Bark still can give you credit back. If, for example, you bought the lead and that lead haven't responded at all, so they're gonna give you credit back. And basically, this is a free trial. So unless you learn, this is the best way to get the real projects. And the numbers I already said. In order to win one with your skills, you need to price 10 jobs at least and present it the way I explain on Zoom and or in person is the best way. Then LinkedIn outreach is very low conversion. Conversion into response gonna be here around 1 to 3%, and you need to send very big volume of the inquiries and messages, but send them as a smart way as well, not just, hey, my name is Artur, do you have some jobs? Because you're never gonna get any response. An example here, if you're gonna go and search for the architect London or whatever, you can Google, you can do for a different location, doesn't matter where you are, in Manchester or whatever, you can see that there is literally thousands of people. Okay, it's 100 pages plus. So you can see how many potential contacts you have and how many people can actually give you the job. So basically, what you need to target on your current stage, if you are the small guy, we're gonna go to architects. Yeah, so the first one for the LinkedIn, you're gonna need to target someone who is not big. For example, they have 3 to 5, maybe 10 guys inside the company, or maybe this is just the small guys, they starting out. They're gonna have some private projects and they're gonna struggle with builders, because architects, they know their trade, but they don't know how to build, and most of them, they don't know how to estimate the projects. So you need to understand that all the time when the client client approach architect, they ask an architect for the budget for construction work. And most of these guys, they don't understand the budget. So whatever you connect with them, you can offer, hey man, I can help you with estimating your deals. Whatever you're gonna have a new client, you can call me, I can come with you on the site, I can help you with the estimate, I can help you to be more professional and more provide turnkey services. So when you start, ideal size of the jobs for you gonna be when a small staff to probably around 150 to 100K, where you're not gonna be spending too much time to estimate the deal. So whatever you want to approach someone, is it developer or is it architect, you need to understand what these guys need right now. What's their problem? How can I offer them some value so they're gonna start talking to me, because most of the guys, what the message they say, hey, my name is John, I'm from this construction Ltd and I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type of services. Do you have any projects right now or do you have any tenders? So if you're gonna check my module for the LinkedIn, how I was sending the messages to the architects, I was saying, hey man, I'm looking for the partners and I have some potential project. Do you wanna speak about that or do you wanna get more details? So basically what I'm doing, I'm not asking him for the job, I'm offering him the job, okay? Even if it can be the potential stuff, but it's just a smart way to start the conversation. Because if you're gonna ask him, do you have the job, he's not gonna respond because most of these guys, they receive a lot of messages. And you don't need to go to very big firms because they're not gonna be interested to work with you because most of their projects are very big and they have very strict tender process. So whatever they're gonna be interested, you need to look for the size of the deal around probably up to 500,000 ideally. And when you start, I suggest you to go to the smaller projects because it's gonna be quicker. Interior designers as well, you can find them on the LinkedIn. There are probably going to be thousands of people as well. Or you can even Google interior design firms near me as well. You can find some guys, 1, 2, 3 guys in the company, up to 10, probably 15, not such as big, strict companies. And they might have some interesting projects. I met one interior designers in London. They was doing probably 1.5 million, very luxury house renovation. And what they do basically, they take all the contract to their company and they subcontract. Okay, so you can bring them as well a lot of value by helping them in the estimation process and in the technical process of anything, like whatever it's M&E, can be M&E or whatever, or even the estimates and prices. As well, I'm gonna go back to the architects. It's good to go in person in some offices which are open. Let's say you can Google architects near me and see the companies. Firstly, just check if this is the real office, because before you're gonna go, it's better maybe even call to understand that they have physical office, because they're gonna have it on the Google Maps, but they actually not gonna have the real physical office. It's just gonna be the Google Maps tag, like Google My Business. If it's very small company, like companies from probably a few guys, like 5 to 10, 15, 20 people, they're gonna have the offices. Okay, so you can go there and talk in person because no one basically gonna respond on the email. Then this is very good one when you start as well, and when you small company, you can approach larger construction firms or bigger specialized contractors. So I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say you can approach some of the companies like mine and bigger companies who are doing general contracts like mine. I usually hire subcontractors for decoration, for electrical works, for whatever it is, for whatever packages, and you can ask to tender. You can approach company owners like me or estimators or QSs. Okay. Then as well, specialized contractors. I mean, let's say you do the decoration, but there are a lot of specialized subcontractors who specialize in only on decoration, and they turn in like 10, 15 million or 5 million per year. And they usually as well subcontract. So basically that subcontract again. And if you're gonna approach good quality companies, they usually do it in a good rates. So you can still make your margin there if you're gonna hire your guys directly. That's, for example, one of the guys from previous mentorship program, Gennady, he actually works like this. He has a bigger specialized contractor for decoration and he got a lot of work from them, so basically by having a few guys like this, you already can have whatever 500,000, 1 million, 1.5 million of turnover, just having a few contractors like that. When you build the relationship from starting with something small, usually these guys, they're not gonna give you something big straight away. They might give you a week of work or 2 weeks of work, or maybe 5K, something. For example, where they have a problem with something small and they, current contractors, don't want to do that because it's headache, or it's a small job, or it's a headache job, or something like this. So in these companies, you can obviously Google them, you can check on the company house, you can check them on the Google Maps as well, can search them on the LinkedIn by set up the proper filters, and you can find these guys there. But never send the email. It's better to call them, and for example, dedicate 1 or 2 days per week just calling people and building your pipeline and introducing yourself, and then meeting them on Zoom or in person.
We are now only 10 ways into this video, but I will be extremely honest with you. If you're not gonna implement this information into your business, nothing will change. And that's exactly what these guys has been struggling with. That's why they hired me as their consultant to help them implement the pricing strategy, the project sourcing strategy, and actually strategy to sign and win these projects for them to be able to 10x their business and increase the profit margin. So if you're making right now a few thousands in your construction business and you want to 10x the money you are making in your business, and make sure you have the management structure as well in your company so you have some freedom as a business owner, then you can click the link below in the bio of this video and apply to work with me directly.
Yeah, this is what I said. Call construction company offices. So you can Google the companies, but do not call to the broke companies. You need to understand that the company you want to work with, they have a good quality standards and they work on the good enough projects. So for example, the best companies to work is the ones who are doing commercial jobs. Let's say office fit out or over house renovation and stuff like that. Because on the commercial projects, you have a better margin because you work with the businesses. For example, if you're going to be Googling and calling residential contractors who are doing extensions, there are no way you're going to make money and you can work with them. So you can call some companies who are doing like big warehouses, for example, offices or restaurants or stuff like that. And you can ask them, hey guys, how are you doing? How is your supply chain right now? Do you need any help? I can price for you this, and that. Okay. Then the guys you want to build a relationship as well. It's QSs and estimators. And you need to, when you approach them, you need to check inside which company they work. And you need to check the company as well, because they can be freelance QSs and freelance estimators, and you're not going to get any work from them because they just basically pricing the projects for others and they even not inside the company. So you need to approach these guys as well from the bigger construction companies or even project management companies. So they might have the project right now pricing, and basically before pricing blindly everything, you need to set up the call with them and actually ask all the questions. Hey guys, have you secured the project already, or you just tendering as well? Because you need to understand that these guys are tendering for the jobs as well, and you need to validate the opportunity and how much time you're gonna need to price that. But anyway, usually these guys are gonna send you bill of quantities, so you're just gonna put your prices inside per square meter, per linear meter, whatever. So when you price number of jobs like that, you're gonna have all these prices ready. So then any job like this is gonna be quick for you to price. And you need to understand, in order to win this, you need to be cheap. And you need to understand the project, how many other contractors are tendering. And for example, do not hesitate to ask direct questions. Hey guys, how many contractors are tendering? And do you have any preferred contractor in mind? What's the situation in tender? How you choose the subcontractors? Can you give me some criteria? What's gonna be the best fit for this project? What are you looking for? The cheapest price, a bit of quality, what exactly? So as more information you're gonna get about the project, then you're gonna have a bigger chance to win it, okay? And something like that, if these guys even don't want to jump on the Zoom call with you, then don't waste your time. If these guys don't want even to invest 10-15 minutes to speak with you, then probably they're not gonna even take your quote seriously. Then planning pipe. This is for more skillful guys who already priced at least 20-30 projects, and you have all your numbers ready, so you're just copy pasting, and you are capable to price bigger jobs up to like 200K. We have a website like that called Planning Pipe. It is very similar to Glenigan, but it's cheap, and this is the cheapest option you can get, and you can get the same information which you can buy from the big companies which charge a few thousand for that. So basically you're gonna sign up here and you're gonna pay probably around from 50 to 100 pounds per month. And what you need to look for here, you need to look for the planning application. So this database, basically when you set the criteria what type of projects you look for, they're gonna send you projects which, for example, started the planning application or received the planning application. So here you want to set the filters properly, and you're going to be looking for the projects which already received planning application. So usually inside that information, you're going to get information about the client, about architect who is involved, and what you need to do, you need to call these people. So this is a numbers game. You need to call these people and ask what the situation, do you actually need to tender this project, blah, blah, blah. So you can get a different deals from smaller extensions to development projects to residential projects and even commercial projects. Here, I advise you guys to hire someone on retainer plus percentage who gonna be digging this database and calling every day and establishing the relationship and validating the opportunity. So then you can actually speak with the architect, to speak with the client, ask them questions before you even gonna start tendering for these jobs. So here you're gonna get unlimited jobs as well. So basically you only need time to call and price these jobs and establish relationship with the architects and the clients. You will realize that there are a lot of project opportunities when, for example, architect just stopped his relationship with the previous contractor because they fucked up something. Okay, so then you have a very fair opportunity to win the deal. But for example, if you can feel that the architect is already working for 10 years with some contractor, then probably they're not gonna choose you. You understand? And in this type of the deal, you always, before you even price, you need to have contact with the client so you can actually communicate with the decision maker. Because in a lot of deals, the architect is who is doing the management for the client, and usually the architect is the one who gonna recommend the contractor. So in this case, you need to establish a relationship with the architect and with the client and make sure that the client gonna receive your quote at the same time when receive it architect as well. And usually you need to present it, as I say, in person or on Zoom at least, so you can handle objections straight away. If you're just gonna send your quote, you fucked. You're not gonna get the job. Okay. Another guys who can give you jobs. So this is a project management companies or project managers who manage, for example, residential complexes or any commercial offices or stuff like that. They usually have a lot of maintenance for the roofs, for the flats, for the corridors and things like that. And they tender. And usually these tenders plus minus fair, because how these tenders happen. So basically, let's say I've been doing one tender like that. So they send in, let's say, to change the roof or change the decking or whatever, supply new carpet or stuff like that. The jobs can range from whatever 10K to 200K to 300K on the project. And they send the tender, everyone the same, and then the lowest bid win the job. And then basically they collect the money from the tenants. So if you establish a relationship with someone from good size companies like this who manage, let's say, 100 flats, 200 flats or whatever, 100 offices, you can get a lot of work on the regular basis if you introduce yourself properly and establish the contact. The same stuff with the letting agents. This is the guys who are dealing with the properties on a daily basis, so they can sell, they can rent, and they can introduce you as well. They're not going to introduce you just because you're a nice guy. You probably need to agree on some interesting terms for them, as for example, referral fee or any affiliate program you might have in your business. The ones which is Christina explained, it's quite powerful as well if you're gonna attend good quality events relevant to property development, to construction, to architecture, interior design. Okay, if you're gonna be attending something like 10-15 pounds events, you're not gonna get any good quality leads there. 10 to 40 pounds events, not to go. So you need to find the better quality events where you need to pay at least 100-150 pounds and then go there, meet the people, introduce yourself, establish the relationship. It's a bit of long game. Sometimes if you're lucky, you get a quick tenders, but it's more longer game. Okay, so referral program, I already mentioned, you need to tell everyone in a proper way, present this information that whoever get you inside the project, you have affiliate program. Okay, you need to explain this in the smart professional way, not just saying I'm gonna pay you commission. You have affiliate program inside your business. Whatever you get the deal from the architect, interior designer, project manager, whatever it is, your friend, your wife, you pay percentage if the deal is successful. So I already told you about planning approvals and planning pipe. So planning pipe is actually the tools where you can get information structured and in the cheapest way possible. Of course, you can try to find it for free on the council websites, but you're gonna spend too much information digging inside. Then starting point 19, we have the way which is most people use in any business, but I do not suggest to any guys who just started. This is for more advanced guys. When you're already secured a few projects and let's say you have minimum you need to go for this min 5k budget at least, and you need to understand that you can waste this 5k and get nothing. From here we start into advanced level where you should have very good quality website, ideally, like for example, I'm gonna explain you how Google Ads work. So if, for example, I'm gonna run my traffic to my website like this, most likely I'm not gonna get the leads, or my leads gonna be very expensive, because when the client, for example, I'm running the ads, let's say for commercial fit out, and the client is landing here on this page, client is landing here, they check some information, then they went to this service, jump on this service, and then they basically scroll the website and even didn't leave the inquiry. So what we wanna have in order to spend as less money and get as better result as possible, we're gonna run our ads only on one landing page separately. So for example, if I'm running the ads for office design, for example, this is target audience only who need the office design, and they cannot go anywhere else. I'm running the ads only to this page, and this page is designed perfectly to explain to the potential client that I'm number one contractor to go for the office fit out, and I can actually capture lead in the multiple touch points. I have, let's say, free download guide, something like this. I have clear case studies that have done fit out projects or office design and stuff like that. I have explained everything about the office design and how we do it. I have a chat bot. I have multiple touch points. They can email me, they can leave their details, they can ask to call us back and stuff like that. Because if you're gonna run your Google ads to the big website, most likely you're not gonna receive the leads, so your leads gonna be very expensive. So for the Google ads right now, it's quite expensive, because right now, let's say for the office fit out, only click on your ad cost around 15 pounds. So only click when someone see your ad and they clicked on it. So you already paid 15 pounds. And for you to get one lead will be around 150 to 300 pounds. And for you to win one deal, you need to price around from 5 to 10 projects. And from these leads, probably qualified gonna be one of 5. So you will need to pay actually thousands to the Google in order for you to win some deal. So most likely one project, even small one, for you gonna cost around 3 to 5,000 paid on ads just to sign one project. Plus you need to allow time for the estimating and stuff like that. So this is, I would not advise when you just started, because it's way expensive. You can get very quality leads here when set up correctly, and when you have good team who is setting up ads for you. Don't do it yourself, because you're gonna fuck up everything. Then a bit more easier, it's a Facebook ads. Here one lead gonna cost you 7 to 15 pounds, and probably 60 to 150 pounds will be qualified lead when ads go to Facebook lead form. So this can be static ads, video ads, explaining about your services. And basically to get this result, you need to run ads to the Facebook lead form, not to your website. Basically inside the Facebook, you can have the lead form. When you, let's say you have your ad, people see it on the Facebook or on Instagram, they click and they need to answer a few questions. Let's say what type of the project, what's your budget, blah, 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 and what's your email and contact number. And then you're gonna call these people. So for that one to run, you as well gonna need ideally at least 2K per month on ads. So whatever you don't have this budget to waste comfortably, do not do it. Because I advise and suggest, after you signed a few projects from the previous ways, which are free or very, very not expensive, where you just learn and improve your skills, then when your skills are good, you can actually start this one, and you have the money from your previous profit and from your previous projects. That's actually a very effective way to scale your business fast, but you need to have very good skill to call people, qualify these people, and price and sell them your services in a proper way, which I teach. Because if you're gonna be just running your ads and doing everything incorrectly, even the good quality ads, you will not convert them, and you will not convert the leads, because you're just gonna be making too much mistakes, and this is very expensive way to learn. That's why the cheapest way to learn is Bark. Okay. And then the one which I use right now, which gives me very, very good quality leads, big projects, this is SEO optimization of your website. I'm gonna have the separate module for that, and I'm gonna have the separate module for this, and I'm gonna have the separate module for that as well. But you need to grow yourself to this level. So SEO, you will need to spend at least initially, just to kick off your website, you should have at least 5K investment and do it properly. So people actually gonna start recognizing your website, and your website will be visible in Google. And then you will need to invest at least 2K per month. And this is game as well. So you can accept something after 6 to 12 months and do it properly, because you need to as well understand that in this game, there is too much scam and too much agencies who just gonna be wasting your time and sending you PDF reports that they doing the work, and you have some clicks and you have some shit, but you just paying them the money and they do not do any work. You need to understand the basics just to vet right subcontractor for you to do the work, because I had to learn a lot about this myself, and I had to change probably 5 companies, and I spent enough money to learn that how these guys work. They just sending you some reports and saying, man, you need to wait another 3 months. It's a long term. When it's done properly, you can get very, very good leads, and you can sign with these deals up to even 1 million. When with the Facebook, your deals going to be from 5K to probably 150 maximum if you're gonna sign something interesting, But with the SEO, people are contacting me for like 1 million plus projects through my website now. That's where the big potential gonna have. And then the last one, which is the most difficult one, is a government project. You can find them on the multiple platforms like Planning Pipe, and as well you can find them for free on the Gov.uk portals. You can just Google for whatever government projects are happening right now in your area. But I suggest to start this later, when you have at least 500,000, 1 million turnover, and you have a team and time and actually cash flow to deal with these projects, because they do not pay advance payments. Okay. But on the all private projects, you can negotiate upfront payments, and you can negotiate a good payment terms for your business. So that's the main ways how you can get clients on different stages of your business and different size.
Let me know in the comments below if you know more ways to find construction projects on which I will be able to record the new video and explain them step by step. As well as that, if you looking for the more information how to grow construction business, you can comment on specific subjects on which I'm gonna record the new video explaining how to do it. And of course, subscribe to my channel, because on a regular weekly basis, I'm gonna be posting new videos on how to grow construction business, and it's most transparent and honest feedback from someone who's actually doing the construction business right now.